Here we go.
Hi, my name is Stacey Wynn, and I am doing my Apprentice Hive Inspection Practical Assessment here in Stuart, Florida. And I have been working with bees here for a little over 3 years, and I'm excited to inspect a hive with you today. So the first thing I'm going to do is light the smoker. I just have some pine needles in here to get it started, and then some more materials here, including some dry pine cones, some chips, and pine needles. So it looks like it's catching pretty well, so I'm going to put some more pine straw in here. The smoke always follows the cameraman. All right. I just use my glove for this because they're kind of pointy. Okay. I have a bee flying around. All right. So it looks like it's pretty good. And at the top, my mentor just taught me to put some grass at the top, and so that helps eliminate any sparks and also cools down smoke. The lid's on pretty tight, and it seems to be doing its thing. All right. And today I am wearing a bee suit. So I've got my PPE on, so I've got gloves and the suit, so I'm going to eliminate most of the risk of being stung. Mostly just to make me a little bit more confident, because the bees really are pretty well behaved. All right, so we're going to head into the apiary. Several different colonies in here, different hives that you can see. The one that I'm working today is this first one, and it's got our carniolan colony in it. And we have right now this deep box on top because we're feeding some sugar. Then we've got a shallow super. We've got a queen excluder here, and then the bottom box is a full bottom with a screen, a full box with a screened bottom. So I'm just going to give the bees a little bit of smoke as we get started. Okay. Got a couple of different tools up here. So I have two different hive tools. This is my favorite one. And then a frame grabber, and then this frame resting tool. So the smoke has had a little bit of a chance to get in and just kind of alert the bees that we're coming in. So I'm just going to start by removing the lid, which is a telescoping lid. I didn't expect to see any bees up here. Again, this is where we're feeding the bees. And I will be giving them some more sugar water today. So this is empty as suspected. Got a wagon over here so I can put some of these boxes over here to make it easy. Got this little reducer piece to keep the bees out of the top, and then here I've got an inner lid, so I don't know if you can see, but there are lots of bees in here, so I can see them inside the super. They have propolised a good bit, so it's a little bit sticky. So I might suspect I will see maybe a few hive beetles, but looks like not too many. I don't see any actually. I see a lot of bees, and I see some propolis. Okay. Got most of them off. Just set this down. So we're not really looking at the honey super, but I'm just interested in just kind of taking a peek and seeing what's happening up here. So I see a lot of the worker bees, which I would only expect to see worker bees here with the queen excluder, so I wouldn't see any of the larger bees come through. So we could just look and see what one of these looks like. So this is a nice shallow frame. It's built out, but I don't see any, just a little bit actually, a little bit of nectar in here. Lots of healthy looking bees in here. It's possible we might have some more honey, but we're kind of in between. Actually, we're probably past most of the nectar flows. All right, so what we're really looking at too is we want to get down into this brood box. So I'm just going to move these guys, and I should just set it on its side, I guess. That would be easy. Probably won't be very heavy. It looks pretty empty. Gonna set it straight down here. Okay, so that'll rest there. So now I've got this queen excluder, and what I'm gonna do is give them a little bit of smoke and then take this queen excluder off. These are really, so far, pretty calm bees. And they usually are pretty calm. There's a little bit of wax built up on the queen excluder, which happens. So I'm just going to set this over here. Okay. So here we have our main hive box, and I'm just looking to see if I see any evidence of any pests or anything. I do see some ants up here, and that'll be something interesting to think about as I continue to look and see what else is going on inside this hive. So I suspect that I would find some fairly empty frames out here. It looks like most of the activity, so the queen is probably in here, and as I look right now, I'm just seeing worker bees. So I don't see any drones, but we'll probably potentially find a couple in here. Lots of propolis. Okay, so I'm going to set down this frame holder. Just give myself some room. I'll take out these frames. So I see a hive beetle in here, just one. They're building out this plastic foundation. I'm looking, don't see any resources in here, and I've got mostly worker bees here. I'm going to set this down just to give myself some room and take care not to hurt any bees on the end bars. Next frame feels a little heavier to me, and it is. So there's more going on this frame. We've got honey, capped honey on the top. We've got nectar underneath that. We've got bees working on this part of the hive, building it out, storing some honey here. Got a little bit of rain, but not much. Lots of calm bees. We'll see what's going on with this frame. So, got some honey on this frame, and I see the queen right there, so we've got the queen here on this frame. She's marked with a green dot. So I'm gonna look around and see if I can spot if she's laying. She's on this frame, and I do see some C-shaped larvae. See some C-shaped larvae in here. In some of those openings right toward the center, I see some C-shaped. And I'm looking for, oh look, there's a bee exiting. So there's a very new bee coming out of that worker cell right there. And her sisters are ready to greet her. So the queen is actively laying here. And on this side we've got some more brood. So I see a lot of brood. I see some nectar on this side of the frame. I see a little bit of capped honey. So it looks like a pretty healthy laying pattern. Not too much brood on this side or on this side. So we'll see maybe what's going on with the next frame, but we know the queen is accounted for. It's always nice to find her. They are loving their propolis. Really a whole lot. Smoke. Lots of bees. More brood here, so we've got some brood that's capped. I don't see any evidence. Oh, I say that, but looks like perhaps down here we've got a queen cup. No queen, but there's a cup there. I see some nectar over here, and I think I see some bee bread over here. Don't have much sun right now to be able to see eggs, but I know we've got a queen and we've got some capped cells with brood developing. Lots of bees, lots of brood over here. I see some bees coming in with pollen. Got pollen on their legs, so they will be storing that for food. And I'm not seeing any evidence, so as I look, I don't see any evidence of pest. I'm not seeing any. I saw that one beetle, but that's not too much going on with pests. I don't see any evidence of wax moths. I do in between these next two frames, I see that they've built out some wax. So that might take just a little bit of time to separate these well. So we've got some bees at the bottom, just sort of hanging out. Got some pollen coming in on the bees, some bright yellow pollen there, and I've seen some white pollen. This is a great frame that shows a really great, lots of brood. The queen's laid really well here. I also see in this frame so this is a great frame. I know it's got a lot of bees on it, but we've got some, over in here, there's some bee bread. We have some honey, got some nectar, and it looks like she's filling in, got some C-shaped larvae in here. So she's making good use of the frames that are really active, and then seeing that the bees are building out some of those frames toward the edge, she's got some room to grow here. So lots of workers. We've done a good job this season of working on Varroa, so I think that's been really beneficial for this package. So this is a package that we got, and it's developed maybe a little bit more slowly, but now is really seeming to, it looks really good, which is great as we approach kind of the winter season. I bet in spring we'll have a really great hive of carneolans. Okay, another great frame. Lots of brood here. Lots of capped brood. Bee bread, I see bee bread here too. I see some capped honey. So this is all looking pretty textbook. Some dancing, so there are bees. There's a bee right there dancing around and letting the colony know where there are some more resources. Look at this, beautiful. So we have some nice honey on the left side of the frame, lots of brood. I see a drone or two in here, a little bit bigger bees. Yep, several drones, lots of workers. I'm looking at their wings. You know, you can see if you have any evidence of, or maybe a hive that's unhealthy when their wings are misshapen, and I don't see any of that. I'm just going to look and see if there are any more queen cells. I saw that one cup, but I don't see any others here. And you know, this queen's doing a good job, so I'm not sure that they are trying to actively replace her or anything like that. Just a couple more frames to go. lots of wax and propolis between these frames. They're being really calm. I know sometimes we work this colony and think that we could probably work it with only a veil on. And maybe one day I might do that. Lots of brood. Lots of capped brood. And you know, the cappings look really even and healthy. So on the top corners, you can tell there's a little bit of honey capped. And I do see some little random cells here and there with some nectar in it. Some more bright yellow pollen pants here. Some nice honey on the side. So it looks like as we are heading toward the edge, this side of the hive box, that you know, it's a little bit less packed with resources. So this would be a prime frame for the queen to come lay in. The cells are well prepared. We've got a couple of bigger cells here, which are going to be the drone cells, so they have a little dome-shaped top to them. Okay. Still surprising me with lots of brood here. So this is another frame of brood right about in here. We've got some more drone cells. I see some nectar here. I see honey. There's some larvae and down right in here, so some C-shaped. Lots of healthy C-shaped larvae. And I'm sure if I had some good sun, I'd be able to catch some eggs, but I have seen eggs and know that they kind of look like tiny little pieces of rice at the bottom of the cell. The sun's just really not that great to be able to pick that out, but I've got lots of evidence that there's another bee hatching here, so lots of stages of the life cycle to look at. Really nice. She's doing a good job. even on this frame, we're toward the outside of the hive box, but I can see we've got a little bit of honey here. A much lighter frame. Got some nice capped honey and some nectar there. Really pretty yellow wax. And on this side, so they're building out this frame pretty well here. So this is not a plastic foundation, this is a wax foundation. And they've really built this one up. Nice yellow wax, really pretty. All right, so the final frame in this box is a plastic foundation frame. Nothing's going on here. I don't see any any pests or anything weird going on either. It's just an end frame that they can, obviously they're still building well, so they could continue to build out in this direction. I'm going to take a moment and look at my rubric and just so we have seen, just in terms of brood, the larva, the capped pupa, some drone pupa. I did find a queen cup, and only thing I can't say that I've actually seen are the eggs, but as I put some of these frames back in, I'll take another look. See if I can see one. Get this honey super back on. Because there is some activity going on over here. I just like to kind of keep my eye on scooting these frames so that we don't hurt any bees, especially knowing that the queen's down here. Be really careful. Mostly a honey frame. I'm just going to kind of speed up the closing so I can get this super back on. Just move back down. Okay. Alright, so I've got to put it back together again with the queen excluder first. We'll quiet back down in just a minute when we get it all put back together. They are pretty loud right now. And I'm going to put the sugar over here, so I'm going to close that up for now just to keep the bees from coming in and out there. While I fill up the sugar. I may need to get help from man hands to help me with that. Oh, no, I got it. So we mix up our bee feed and add in some of the products that help maintaining a healthy hive.
Just use all of it.
And we've tried different kinds of sugar feeding methods, including the N5, the frame feeder. Right now we're giving these jars a try. Guys to go. Oh. Okay. So we've got a couple of bees. I'm just going to help out. She can smell the hive and she really wants to get back in there. Okay. Alright, so we've got the telescoping lid, and that's the last step, is to get the lid on. And when we put this on, we just make sure it's pushed forward and is centered well. All right, I'll put my brick back on it. And this concludes my video, so thank you so much, and I look forward to continuing the program. Thank you.